I mean, nobody wants to admit they ate 9 cans of ravioli, but I did, and I'm ashamed of myself. But the first can doesn't count, and then you get to the second, and then the third, and fourth and fifth I think I burned with the blowtorch, and then I just kept eating.
9 cans of ravioli. Why would anyone do this to themselves? When Chef Boyardee first began war profiteering way back in World War Deuce, he could never have imagined a world as it exists today, full of absolute morons willing to do harm to their own bodies by ingesting horrific amounts of garbage for the social validation of entertaining complete strangers through a series of tubes. You'd have to be a real garbage subhuman to be willing to do this type of thing to yourself. With that said, let's dig in and check out some fun and festive recipes that you can make at home to impress your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon. Please. Please click the bell icon. Parmesan encrusted fried ravioli served over a Tabasco and pasta sauce reduction on a square plate. So we're going to be doing this one-handed gorilla style, holding the camera phone with the other hand. So be sure to touch the sharp sides of the metal lid barehanded. Safety first. Strain your ravioli in the can. Check for stragglers and keep sauce water for later. Rinse ravioli. Now take your time and do a thorough egg wash and breading with flour, grated Parmesan, and panko. Then realize you have to do this for every single ravioli in the can, one at a time individually. Heat a pot of boiling oil to like 300 degrees or whatever, and just start tossing ravioli in. You want to reach that sweet spot between aesthetically pleasing for Instagram posts and I got high and forgot to keep an eye on the food I just burned. For the sauce, you're going to want to mix the ravioli fluid that you set aside earlier with a random amount of hot sauce and a bunch of red pepper flakes. Have fun with it. Throw some flour in it, let it simmer over a low-high heat. Keep stirring it so it doesn't clump up as it thickens. I didn't really mark down any amounts or ingredients or time for any of this, so just eyeball it, I guess. Lower the heat if it starts burbling. You want a loose glaze consistency, like semen. Ejaculate a bit of that sauce on the plate in a visually impressive yet restrained manner. Then toss some ravioli on it and skeet again. Garnish with Parmesan cheese. Parmesan encrusted fried ravioli served with a Tabasco and pasta glaze on a square plate. For a more edible version of the prior recipe, just throw the ravioli in the sauce. Because real talk, that sauce is the only thing in this recipe that actually has any flavor. It won't help the fact that biting into that crunchy fried exterior and being greeted with the soggy, manufactured pasta and meat adjacent filling is kinda gross, but at least it looks cool. Pan-seared ravioli, served with a garlic butter sauce on a square plate. For this recipe, we won't be needing the sauce, but definitely make sure you don't forget to put a bowl under the strainer to save that sauce for a recipe later that requires more than one can. Don't forget to check for stragglers desperately clinging to the side of their prison. Then rinse as normal. Rev up that frying pan to medium heat. Use up the last of the olive oil in the house. Realize that's not enough oil. Panic, and then add some vegetable oil off camera. Toss your ravs in and go to town. You want to keep the beef pockets moving, because for some reason they instantly start dissolving and forming a sticky, weird paste all over the pan. They'll never actually get hot, which is weird, but they'll eventually start pretending to be cooked. Throw too much butter in the pan and take a moment to admire its purity. Then get impatient because it's taking forever to melt down. Hit that bitch with a dab of fake garlic paste and let it simmer. You're looking for the butter to turn cloudy and separate, signifying that you broke its emulsion by stirring too much with the spoon while you were bored. Arrange your meatlets on a plate and garnish with a grated artificial mozzarella cheese. After this, you could spoon some sauce on them if you want to complete the recipe, and you could even put some more cheese on them after that if you feel like it. You could try to put some sauce on the plate around the mess so it looks a little fancier, but you still have to eat it, and it's cold. Mex-Italian fusion salad, served on a square plate. Put a bunch of dead animals in a frying pan and cover them in some dubious stuff you found on the floor behind the spice rack. Go into your bedroom to grab a cigarette, get distracted, and forget what you were doing until the smoke detector goes off. Then empty a can of ravioli into the pan. Then empty a can of ravioli into the pan. Then empty a can of ravioli into the pan. Alright, now this next step is very important, so please pay attention. There's a chemical reaction caused by the oil heating up inside the canned sauce, and it's poisonous, and it could send you to the hospital if oven-baked Mex-Italian slopperoni stuffed pepper topped with a hand-grated cheddar and provolone mix on a square plate. Now after you do that very important thing I just warned you about and your food is safe to eat, you let it simmer a bit more so the sauce dissolves. Get yourself a red pepper and 1, 2, 3...
Sub-Zero wins. Fatality.
It's beautiful. I admire it. Liberally drizzle that non-toxic oil sauce over the top of the produce cup and let it sink through to the meat. This will help the ravioli not still be cold, despite being cooked in a frying pan and then an oven. Gently, carefully, wrap it in foil. Sneeze the gump off the griswold. It'll be smacked, but once you're banging tens off the croll, it'll scunch out. Fly wildly and slide down to the lobe. Flip it up and reverse it, and don't forget to wipe. After finding out how hard you gotta work it, telemating the Columbia will provide infinite frizz and much disdain on the gronk. Beside the behind strikes the chariot. When you flip gooch off the steez, it's cheddar cheese. You know what I mean? Artisanal hand-tossed cheese blend chef's pizza served on a square plate. Alright, stop me if you heard this one before. Dump out into a strainer and verify that there are no more refugees. Bong! Rinse them off and save that dirty pasta water for later. Wait, why the fuck is it burbling? Put the synthetic carbohydrate and gluten squares to the side for now, and let's just make some bland pizza sauce. We're going to start off by combining that chocolate starfish and the pasta flavored water with the can of tomato paste. Now the best practices guide says I'm supposed to appear relatable to drive audience retention, so let me tell you guys a joke. What do you call an Italian person who's just lost an arm? Call him an ambulance, and you pray that limb could be reattached in time. I actually can't get this sauce out of the can with one hand. Hold on a second. Okay, throw some granulated sugar in it. And we're gonna simmer that over a low heat to break it down. You gotta keep stirring it so it doesn't burn. Salt. Oregano. Keep stirring. Garlic. Keep stirring. Now I'm a born and bred New Yorker, and we all know a few key things. Our sports ball team is overrated, you gotta go through us to get to Spider-Man, and the secret to making good pizza is all in the dough. You gotta make that stuff by hand and not take any shortcuts. If you can't make your own pizza dough from scratch without breaking a sweat, then get out of here. Except no substitutions. Not a single substitution at all. Here's the tip. Put a little olive oil in the pan before stretching your dough out. It'll make your job 100 times more difficult. Why did you stop stirring the sauce? Why are you stirring the dough now? Keep stirring the sauce! If you get tired, it's okay to take a break. Self-care is the most important part of making food. And when that sauce is glossed, that dough can get tossed in the oven. If you didn't get it stretched out enough yet, you might as well give up. Oh shit, wait, we gotta put the sauce on it first. And this part of the recipe is a lot like making Lunchables, so have fun with it. Now adorn your travesty with the beef holes and that same cheese you've been using in every other recipe. Pat it down for emotional support and send it on its way. Good luck!